AMORA, LEX. Hope everybody's day is going good. That's the best introduction I got.
So
Okay.
today we're gonna be talking about Miss AMORA Lex, the young lady that decided to drop her kids off to CPS. Maybe that was the best decision yet, but we'll get into that.
Do y'all have special things like blankets? When you get assigned a case worker, you can always work with her on that or him for that. But if you don't mind, we'll go back to the lobby. If you don't mind sitting there, or you want to sit here, it's up to you.
It really don't matter, but because this is
how you're overwhelmed.
Because I love them, and this is hard. This is killing me, but it's for the better. Like it's for me to get my life better and focus on my schooling, my food, my health. Number one, my health, so I don't fucking die, because I can't do shit for them if I'm dead. I can't stop stressing if I don't have help, you know? So it's like, and it's like the dads didn't want to help me. They wanted to see me beat. I done lost everything so many fucking times. But you know what? Like I said, I'm going to come back for them. And as far as the whole foster home thing, like, will it be open? Will I still be able to like see them, bring them gifts and stuff? Like,
what they'll do is they'll set up visitation.
Good. I'm on welfare. I get Title 20, which helps pay for childcare for single mothers or those who can afford it. So she called me because, you know, with them being on her roster, that's how she gets paid. She ain't nobody about to watch 5 kids who's not getting paid. You know, it just is not happening. So she calls me.
So you mean to tell me there was no other way? But honestly, as things start to unfold, I'm starting to feel more and more like this was the best way. Maybe it was a priority, because this was the only way them kids was going to get removed from them home. That home.
And gave them up to the system because unfortunately she could not take on the burden right now.
I'm sorry if my voice cracks or if I tear up a little bit. So I've had enough. It was like, I've been a mom since I was, 15. So it's like, I've been struggling since I was 15. I'm 27 now, and it's time for change. It's like every day I would wake up and I'm like, okay, we're at this moment anyway, like, okay, we're cool, we're fine, we're stable. It's not enough. We're still in the hood. Every day, every 5 minutes, sirens. I'm not comfortable where I am, and I want better for me. I want better for my kids, but mainly for my kids. And honestly, with obviously the fathers being absent, unfortunate, it happens in a lot of Black households, but my son would take over the responsibility of, so he would help me. He would, watch them sometimes. And I didn't like that because, for one, he's 11.
So your son will help you watch your other kids? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like sometimes, like if I'm trying to do homework or if I'm cleaning or cooking, hey, Keontae, I'm trying to cook real quick. Can you just kind of keep watching them and things like that? But these young men actually go into the streets because they're too busy at home watching their younger siblings. Honest, and we've all seen it. We when you know. So it was really just time for change. I wasn't comfortable. And then when we hit our hardship, and this was recently, what kind of like really just hit it, just took the cherry on everything. So, working 2 jobs, my rent's $1,500. I worked our way all the way up. I worked our way out of homelessness by ourselves. So February we finally got a house, a really good house. Working 2 jobs, doing everything I can, and then here we go with the Welfare Office, Job and Family Services of Ohio. My case was active, but they took my kids off the daycare's roster, and obviously still didn't get through nobody. They can't go to daycare. I ended up actually trying to go to my jobs, and at that very same week, my landlord was having like new siding put on the house. Do you know that the people who was putting siding on my house, they caught my house on fire? So, yeah, a lot of people really don't know because I didn't put too much of my information out there, and with them, catching my house on fire, the job I was working at, which I'm not obviously going to name for obvious reasons, but they're exclusively oh goodness, exclusively work from home. So we don't have an office that we can do like a hybrid should it, something like this happen. So I ended up losing that job. And, I'm reaching out to the landlord. Hey, I lost my job. Also lost $1,300 worth of food in the house, that I just put in. And it's not like I got the money though. That was food stamps. I got to wait to the next month to come to get that,
Mm-hmm.
So no job, no food, no place to go, and when I did have a little bit of money from when I was working, that lasted a week.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not even that, because probably about the 4th day in, I had to start, DoorDash and trying to get some type of funds. And you literally have to DoorDash almost from sun up to sundown to even get $80. So, so and expand, and I always want them to know about animals and stuff. You know how many different animals we've had? We done had so many different type of animals and stuff. And I want to be able to take them somewhere and just be able to, give them a backstory. I just want to, for me and my kids, I ain't trying to go to McDonald's and worried about if I got enough for something, So yeah, I'm trying to come up, and I'm going to come up with whether some way, somehow, because I wear too many hats to not.
All right.
Like, I know it's something that definitely happens and it's pretty common, but I'm not exactly necessarily worried about that because my kids aren't in the system. They never were. At least this situation. And when they were in the system last time, they were placed with family. So yeah.
Or with family.
Not my family, but yeah, how can I put it? I'm only going to call them family because obviously now they're an extension of me and my family. So I guess, yeah, my kids, I know where my kids are. I've placed them with people who have stepped up.
And if the government is not involved in this, you just place them with someone that you knew before.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
The government is not involved in arranging this family that your children are with. You just found this or knew this family beforehand and put your kids with them?
So how can I put it? I don't want to put nobody's. So how can I put it? They're not necessarily my blood family, but these are people I can definitely say I didn't think of when I reached out to countless other people for help. These are people I did not reach out to because it's kind of like, hey girl, where you been all these years type of thing. So it was like, oh, I have known you for, since I was 16. I just, I haven't seen her since I was 16, but I know she's very good people. She's married, they own a business. So, I didn't just place my kids with anybody there. I made sure, even if I knew them, that they were suitable to where my kids would be comfortable, if that makes sense.
Okay. And you've made sure that your children are comfortable. You see your children, their living conditions.
Yes.
Their safety.
Yep.
Their school, their food.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I still provide, so a lot of the things, I don't know if you guys seen the picture where, they were like, oh, she got the pizza and stuff like that. So because I still have custody of my kids, I still do get food stamps. Well, I did get this month's food stamps, but because I don't have my kids, there was no reason for me to have them food stamps. So I made sure I went grocery shopping and put it into the foster families of, the foster homes of my kids. There was food there. Yes, I will say.
Are they in multiple homes or one home? Because you said foster homes with an
Yes,
S.
no, they're not together.
So they're spread out with different people?
Yeah. So when I got my food stamps, I made sure instead of, I'm not that type of mother. My kids always come first, whether they're with me or not. So like I said, I don't have my kids. There wasn't no point in me having $1,300 in food stamps for this month, So just not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went shopping for all households, not my household, but all households that have my kids, because yes, there's food there, but I'm still a mom. I still got custody. I still got my responsibilities. Like I said, there's no reason for me to have them food stamps. It only made sense to, go put it with my kids. And I ain't gonna lie, anybody else probably would have sold them stamps, but no.
Okay, that's good that you shared the food stamps with your kids.
You said what?
I said that's good that you shared food stamps with your kids.
It's theirs.
Why are they in different homes?
Because 5 kids is a lot to take on when you already got a life of your own and you own a business and stuff.
Okay.
isn't that less safe for them being split up? And are they in 5 different homes?
No, altogether there's 3 different homes.
I see. Okay, and then just the last question is, what is your plan? Like, do you have a step-by-step plan of how you're going to improve your life and become upwardly mobile? Or is it kind of like, I just dream one day?
No. I definitely have a plan. I've had a plan that Sunday before this past Monday. I already had a plan. Because the same plan that I'm doing now is the same plan that I had when I had my kids, but obviously I couldn't, work on that plan becoming a thing. But now I don't have kids. I don't have nothing in my way stopping that plan. So I'm not sure if you were tuned in. I have a plan. I have two presumed two incomes or whatever. One is about to start here in a couple days on the 14th. The other one, I'm getting my license for that. I should be done with them probably by the ending of next week. So that'll be 2 jobs. I still got on the side. So all something on the side. So all of that into other things, like I said, multiple streams of income. It all adds up to the bigger picture and yeah. Multiple streams.
So I want to ask a question. So you live, I'm not sure where you live at. I didn't get to see the very beginning of this interview. But have you ever considered that maybe where you are, where you've been living at, maybe might not be a good place to make money at? Like maybe you're in a place where the money's not flowing, and maybe you should probably reconsider moving to another place, another area.
I can definitely assure you I have, but it's just right now. I'm in Ohio, to answer your question, by the way. So I'm in Ohio. Living anywhere else, the cost of living is almost 3 times as high. So if I'm struggling in Ohio, I'm for sure bound to struggle somewhere else. So I'd rather, why I don't have kids, go ahead and build funds, maintain them to where I can probably move to another place where I can actually get a flow of income better.
Let me say this. I'm from Ohio, okay? My family lives in Steubenville, Ohio, okay? One thing I can say is that the Midwest is kind of dead. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might be better to move to a more flowing area. If you're going into medical field, things like that, you might be better off probably going to a more an area where it's more a better economy. That's what I did. That's how I was able to even help me and get to the point, because I was homeless. I was actually homeless at one point. But you know what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from. And unfortunately, Ohio is dead. It's the Midwest. The whole economy is dead. So, I get it that it's probably cheaper to live there, but you might find a better life by trying to figure out another place, figure out where the economy's better in the field that you're trying to get into, and then be able to take your children and bring them to that area. So I'm just
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. And that is why I've been in school since January for my national medical assistant license. So when I am good and well ready to leave Ohio, no matter what state I go to, I have a for sure job because I have my national license.
Yeah, and trust me, the reason why I know this is because I lived in Ohio. I lived in Steubenville, the Midwest. The Midwest itself is over with. You know what I'm saying? The auto industry, all that is all industrial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That whole industrial area is gone. That's the reason why you're probably struggling so much, because you're in an area that the actual economy was based on the auto industry, all that stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
So you have to go to a thriving area, and then you'll be able to take your kids and then be able to be more,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely agree with you. That's why I'm working on getting my national license. I just have to do my exam and my mock exam. So if you guys do have any study tips, send them my way, please. But yeah, I I got my license for a national purpose. So wherever I do move, I have a for sure job, which I can then use, you know, to get on my feet and then branch out and do everything. Because also, because the national, like the license that I am getting, I can work at any type of doctor's office. So I could work at 2, and I could probably even make triple the money working in one office if I just use my national license and travel as a traveling medical assistant. And I could probably make about $90,000 to $100,000 a year. So that's I definitely for sure will be, you know, continuing to get that license. My exam is like 2 weeks. So if y'all want to help me study, please do so.
And hold on. I just want to make this clear. I'm not saying to run so that she can run away from her problems. Sometimes you are in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're in the wrong location to be successful. So it might, I've worked with like women that have, you know, had to move from a certain location, and they were more successful in another location. I know that
this is supposed to be given. I thought these people would have came on this platform like, give the kids to me, bring the kids to me, send the kids to me. This is not these people point of view. They just talking about the son and about him and nothing.
Today we have a very special guest by the name of Reverend Faith Cobb. She is the paternal grandmother of the child, or one of the children that has been the center of this woman who went to CPS and gave her children up to CPS. Now, I'm going to be talking to Faith because Faith has some very, very strong opinions and wants justice for her son. So we're going to get her side of the story. Now, before we get into
his life, in fact, he has a whole bedroom in here. He's on the lease. He was on the lease when she abandoned him the first time because he stayed with me and my son. My son didn't live with him. Back in November up to December of 2019, she dropped off the babies with the woman that she calls Miss Fisher. Now, Miss Fisher is an alcoholic, and in one of the videos, one of the audios that my son recorded of her talking to another man, she left her children with my son to go speak with this man, and she was telling him that my only babysitter for all her boys is this alcoholic, and my son is watching the kids now, her kids. Now, at that time, my grandson wasn't born, this audio here. She was walking off to talk to that guy and was putting my son down. My son kept that video, and I got that. Audio. It's an audio. He kept it. But in any event, in 2019, she dropped the children off. My grandson had cuts on his butt from his bottom, I guess being in diapers. I don't know where they came from, but we have the pictures. My son sent them to me. He had to leave work to go get his son. Now, she had the baby upstairs in the hallway and strapped still in his car seat. And the other two were in a closed door upstairs crying. One of her boys has a disease in his leg and he was hurting. My son went and got him. This is the many times my son has rescued those children. He brought my grandson to me. And at times when she tried to spite me, I don't know her well enough to understand the evil, except that I have the Holy Ghost, and she's a witch. And so she dislikes me without a cause and likes to have people argue with her. Not doing that. She would drop my grandson to my daughter, who's a nurse, and my other one's an MBA. Drop the baby off, and she would drop the baby to me. Everybody kept bringing the baby to me. So I kept him most of his life. He has a huge family. Sharon still in the report never got a chance to address her report because I'm still working on a murder case and I have to prioritize. But in her report, she made it look like my grandson was lonely. When he was staying with me through CPS, he was with my other grandchildren. He would do things with them. We have pictures, and he was very well cared for. In fact, I'll show you a picture here. His pictures are all over the wall like the rest of my family. This is how I care for my grandson.
Okay.
When she attacked him, when my grandson was a few days old, my son cried, and she attacked me in emails. I don't know her like that, but she would say stuff like, your mother's a slut. I've been celibate for 27 years for the sake of Christ. There's no man that could step up and say, I've been with her. No. I am how I am because of Christ, not for what man thinks, but because of my dedication to him. And I'm unmarried, and I want to stay that way so that I can serve the Lord. And that's, if you're reading the Bible, then you understand that women who are dedicated that way, we do that. We try to please the Lord, and a married woman pleases her husband. So I am this way, and I was able to open my life to take care of my grandson, start being a mother again. I don't mind that. She attacked my son while he protected him from going to a Halloween party that they go to every year. I hope Catherine is listening, because it's their part. I'm not going to hide that. They'll tell you, and they've told my son, I told him to stay away from her because of that when we found that out. But in any event, she attacked him, and he didn't call the police. The neighbors called the police. He wasn't drunk. He was caring for this ignorant person said. And I'm not going to go back and forth and calling people names and things like that. But I saw her do that throughout. And my kids are not stupid either, apparently. My son was in college at the time she murdered him. And she talks about he had a Cadillac.
Wait. We're going to get to that part too.
Okay.
We have to, like I said, I want to get to it in order.
Gotcha.
Or else they'll get lost. The audience will get lost because you have been living with this every single day. You know it forward, backward. You know how to jump in from the middle, from the side. The audience, they're new to the story.
Yes.
So they gotta take it like as at a build up. Okay.
Okay.
So before you go again, let me just give everybody a background. So this is the grandmother of her middle child. So the woman who went viral, she has 5 children, okay? She has 5 children, and her son has a child with her, and he is the middle child. And then she had 2 girls after that. She had two kids before. Then she had the child that is in the middle, which is her grandson. And then she had 2 children after. Now, in the course of them being together, her son and her were dealing with each other. It was a toxic relationship. And while they were dealing with each other, there was an incident where her son passed away. Now, according to Faith feels strongly that the woman who has given her kids up and at the center of this story, Faith feels like she has something to do with her son's passing, and she feels as though she is the culprit. Now, just because it's my platform, and anytime there's allegations like that, I have to say it's alleged, even though you know for sure what you know. I just have to protect my platform and say it's alleged. But that is what Faith feels strongly about. Now, we're going to get to why Faith feels like she's the culprit. We're going to get to all of those things, but we're going to back up first. So, you meet her from her dealing with your son and them having a relationships.
Listen, at this point, they can bring those babies to me. Bring them babies to my house. Tay would definitely take them babies in and make sure that they felt nothing but love. Like what? I really want to beat her ass right now. Beat her ass, beat they ass. I just want to beat some ass. And I want them babies to be put in the best of care. And if they have no place to put them, please bring them here. Bring them to me.
When I first knew about her, my son came home with her 2 children. And I asked who they were, and they were calling him dead already. They started calling me grandma. And he said that he was babysitting her sons so that she can go to work as a nurse aide, that she was working as a nurse aide. Well, at this point, we didn't know she was a stripper. And that was really distressing for my son. We finally found out. When she finally met me, she introduced herself and quickly told me that the 2 children she had were by rape, which is, unseemly. And I knew that they both had the same names that start with a K, and they're named Miller. They're named after their father. It didn't sound right. And I spoke with my son. My son said, "Mom, I can explain." There's no explanation. When you say a person raped you, you're thinking it was something violent.
R word.
Violent.
R worded you.
Yes, I'm sorry, the R word. You think it's something violent. Mr. Miller and Alexis Wright were teenagers when they met. He was about a year and a half older than she was. They had the first child. They even lived in the same house together. had the first child, and then had the second one. They said that her mother consented to that. But then by the time she had the second one, she was 18. They were engaged. He even proposed to her on Facebook. And if you can find those posts that she's made about vacays in 2015, that she complained that he didn't want to come get his kids. And I mean, you don't talk like this about a person that raped you. You want your kids to be with the person that raped you. She had been telling my son that, and told my son that he also raped his children. Also are his children while he was watching the P Word. And I that's one of the videos that some of the public got held up, but I put that there. I try to make awareness because police were not listening to us when we were telling them that she's been threatening his life. His attorney, we gave this information and all her screenshots to Alex's attorney, and we asked her to approach the prosecutor. She failed to do that. And when Alex was killed, she said, well, they seem to have something. She didn't show me and prove to me that she gave that to him. But she said they seem to have words I don't use, basically an E word in their pants toward my son, that they wanted him in some way. So they didn't act on the threat, the second one, on his life. And we ever since then, I've just been trying to get them to look at not just all the evidence, but I opened all of our situation, everything that we have in terms of documents. Alex kept documenting things. After the first time she had him poisoned, she said there'll be no coming back. Then she went online. Alex gave me his passwords in case they killed him. The location of his phone, it wasn't in his car. It was in the house of the woman she said called her. And the police believe that the 8 phones were his. They're not. He didn't have one. The girl destroyed every phone. The only phone that he would have would be mine. Then he borrowed a blue phone from a friend. The phone that he ordered didn't arrive until after he died from Amazon. I have that. And the computer he had, she still has it. He took it with him to study. He had deadlines for Sunday. He died on Sunday. And he didn't die when we made it to the hospital, as she said. I was called at 3 a.m. Alex and I had just moved in an apartment that I got for him and the baby. And I was telling Alex, as you're going to school, he just bought a Cadillac because she destroyed his car. And that's documented on Facebook as well. And I have the copies on his profile. I have the copies of those things. I also have his profile.
Okay, so you guys were together. He took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. He came back. He gave you a rose, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when he came back, you were mad because you had been trying to contact him and he didn't answer. Isn't that what you said?
No. I can't remember why I was mad at him. I'm saying I was mad. Okay. He came back, gave me the rose. He left after that, but after he left, that's why I was getting mad because I couldn't get in contact with him, or if I did before he died, it would be like really patchy.
Okay.
So
wait.
Yeah, he had the kids.
Okay, wait there. Okay. So were you guys living together at this time? You guys were living together?
No, he's never been on my lease. I've never had any man on my lease.
Okay, so he lived somewhere, you lived somewhere. Okay, so
yeah. Obviously, it's probably going to take a couple years to actually be rich like the way I think I want to be in my head. But realistically, to get up on my feet and be financially stable and have it to where it's maintained, maybe 6 months. Because honestly, in 2 months, with both jobs and stuff, I could be cool. But I want to make sure I have that, that extra money in the savings and stuff like that for emergencies. I want to make sure that when I come back, if anything happens, I can handle that and still have nothing to worry about. I can still continue to make money. Like, I'm going to just say 6 months to a year. But for real, honestly, I made sure I did all the calculating, the numbers and things like that. 6 months. 6 months is when I would love to be coming back for my kids, but also with a lot of the things.
Hey y'all, it's your girl T with the Tay with the T. I'm all confused over this situation, baby. It got me saying my name wrong. I'm so mad. But let's get into the gag, okay? We're going to be talking about Miss AMORA LEX, a 27-year-old girl that has 5 kids that decided to drop them off to CPS. But as this story unfolds and things unravel, I'm starting to feel like that was the best decision that was made overall. Because see, I don't know if you've been following this story, if you've seen the interview. The other day, Neek at Night interviewed the young lady, right? She had her on her platform, and she was trying to explain all the reasons and ways of why she did what she did, which still, I don't feel none of the reasons that she gave was a reason good enough to give your kids away. But as the story, like I said, unfolds and things unravel and details prevail themselves, you start to learn more of the truth about who these people are within this situation, to know that the best thing for the kids was to be away from this situation. Honestly, this young girl, right, 27, she says that the way she became a mother was due to the factors of the R word. She's full of shit because she has 2 kids with the same person, which she was engaged to at one point in time and also lived with, right? Now let's get into the middle child, which she has with the lady that also appeared on Neek's platform, but we're gonna get into them, right? Now, it's been said that the lady had custody of the little boy before. On the back end, let's get into the factors of the kids has been in the system before. This is not the first time. They spent a year and a half away from her before. So I guess they gave her a chance to get herself back together, and they decided to give her kids back after whatever type of therapy or whatever she had to do to get them back, if you understand me. But these kids are used to being shuffled around. This is not something that's happening just right now. This young lady came on the line to say that, oh, she gave her kids away due to the factors that she had no help. It's not that she had no help. The situation just overall is unhealthy. Unhealthy, period. There was drug use. There was passing around. There's stripping going down. There's just a lot of things taking place that has nothing to do with parenting. If you ask this young lady about the situation and what made her come to her decision, it's me. She's saying that she only want to make money to be able to take care of her kids. Now, as a woman, okay, I had a child I became pregnant at 15, had my child at 16. Everybody's story is different. I understand that. Please understand me. But wouldn't you want to go through the struggle with your kids so that way they can understand and know what life is? And the factors of this decision, the only thing you taught your kids was to give up, even on themselves at the end of the day. Now, I didn't hear her say anything about making changes. She's sitting there trying to promote her pages to be able to do business with people, yes, for monetary gain. But within that time, you're not worried about your kids being placed or separated, because they are not together. And then she told everybody, right? She dropped them off to CPS and this, that, and the third, but then she rebutted and came back and said how, she placed them in the factors of kinship. So if you said you had no family that was willing to help with, how did kinship even become a factor, miss? Now, if you wanted to have a hot girl summer and you just didn't want to be a mother, that was just the case of that. Now, I hate the fact that people on social media cling on so hard to negativity, because that's the only reason why this story went viral, if you ask me. Now, the thing about it is, I think she could have came online with those same kids and people would have still been sympathetic. But this situation and story leaves people up in an uproar to know what to feel, because we're not getting it. We're definitely not getting it. And then for these people, a group of people, because it seemed like the grandmother that did decide to go on Neek and bring up her other son and a cousin and a friend and a goldfish and whoever else, because the lady decided to share Neek's link on her Facebook page, which you're never supposed to do, because that opens up the line for different types of people, if you understand what I mean. You don't need nobody to help you speak if you came to speak on the behalf of the children. Why did you need to open up the platform to speak on the behalf of your son? I feel like she used Neat platform as a way for her voice to be heard in another situation that's also sympathetic. But miss, this was not this. Neat brung you on her platform to speak about those kids. And now I'm starting to think it might not even be a good decision if the kids even went that way, just because of the feelings that play a part in between the family and the mother. When they have anything to say about the mother, it's not on a healthy behalf. They just trying to get out there and want the world to know, well, she did this and she did that, she did this and she did that. But it seems like before this lady's son passed away, he had a lot in his closet too, baby. Because it's starting to sound like, just like what the girl said on that behalf, he was dealing with a lot of drugs and things that this man overdosed more than one time and had to be revived. Every time you're not going to get a return, okay? So in this case, there was no return, however the situation played out. But it's trying to, or rather it's given, they're trying to go viral off of that situation and give that situation clout versus giving the situation that needs attention, which is these kids. And not to mention the factors of how healthy unhealthy the situation really is. Because I am pissed, okay? I've dealt with a lot of situations in my life while I've been a mother. And not at one point in those times did I ever think that I was going to give my kids to another. Has it been times where I wanted a break, cried for a break, needed a break, was overwhelmed, and felt like I was living in pure hell? Yes. But we all come with the story. And baby, that will be the story that not only molds me, but molds them, to teach them what life is. You don't get nothing from not doing nothing. You have to put out something to end up with something. And that's just period, point blank. This story got me at a loss all over the place, because even though she's saying she's trying to make money to give her kids a certain type of lifestyle, you online saying if you want them, you was willing to give them kids to whoever was willing to take them at that point. You really did not care, because if you're saying, oh, if you want them, you could come get them, you're talking to anybody. Now, I'm just happy if they're saying that this girl is not in her right state of mind, that the decision that she made within that time to drop them kids off to the fire department or whatever local authorities that she put them in care of, okay? Because I'm just happy she did not hurt them babies, okay, physically, because emotionally she's hurt them enough. Them kids is 7 and under. For her to sit in that car and say that she had a conversation with her kids, what conversation do you have with kids that's 7 and under that they're gonna understand they about to lose their mother? Help me figure that out, okay? And secondly, while the kids are where they is, right? You don't think people seeing these videos on social media and it is showing your mental condition? Because there's a back and forth. And anybody that decides to reach out and pour into that, promote from it, they need their ass kicked just as much. You don't have, all money is not good money, okay? If it wasn't about the factors of helping the kids, how helping her gonna do anything? That money could be poured into them. Okay, if you saying that you're struggling, what you need? A house? What the kids need? Some funding? What the kids need? It should be solely about the kids, because at the end of this situation, people could give this woman all of this type of help and support all they want. But that don't mean it's still going to be poured into the people that the point was solely supposed to be about. And that was the children. to interview her and be the first person to put her out there, but it only shows the behavior of her neighbor. She's going to feel that what she's doing is for the right. Because now that you have the attention back, I'm pretty sure people done paid her for these interviews, okay? I'm pretty sure people done paid her for these interviews, right? Why you ain't go get your kids back yet? Now you should be able to pay for a babysitter so while you going to school throughout the day, right? And your 7-year-old is in school, ma'am. Okay, so if your 7-year-old goes to school and now you getting a little bit of funds in, you can send them kids to daycare so you can finish your schooling if that's what it is that you wanted to do. But your kids would be with you, not sitting there now. Their circumstances of the state, their ownership of the state. They belong to the state. I would not want the state to be the person that has to make the primary decisions for my children. Now, I don't know what and why or how it even got to this point, but the point that it's at right now is definitely not a good one. I pray for those children. I definitely pray for those children. But the bad part of this situation, I'm just happy that the nation got to see that this is the type of stuff that's happening. Because she is one of many. She's not the first. And she's not the last deadbeat ass mama that's going to be out here on these social media streets looking for compensation for being a goddamn deadbeat. Why you ain't go get them kids once you got acknowledgement? Okay? If that's what it was all for, why did you not? And for the mother, the brother Jonathan to the third child that she has, and the father, he went unalive due to the factors of fentanyl or overdosing or whatever the case is. What is y'all purpose? What was y'all purpose? Because what was the purpose? We heard everything that had to do with your son, right? We heard everything that there was only on the factors when it came to the kids, when they had time to talk bad about the mother. Yeah, the kids came, had sores on their butt, rashes. My son had to constantly run to go get the kids, and these wasn't even his kids that he was taking of, which further proves the fact that she would leave these kids with whoever she could. Because if the people that they were picking the kids up from was dealing with alcoholism, you was willing to leave your kids with drunks? But you saying you want the best for them? This young lady has twin girls, right? And I think that's the youngest of the children. This is sad. This is sad. And I hope they find a household for those kids, even if it's not the factors of the kinship, okay? And they are really fully adopted by a family that can care for them and take them away from these traumatic situations that they are currently in. Because this is where we hear bad stories and things go wrong, where CPS returns the children to their mother and then something terrible winds up happening, more than what was the terrible situation that got the kids removed in the first place. Sometimes a child becomes unalived in a situation before anything is done. And right now, I don't think that the home where she at is a place for them. I think instead of her going to school for doctorate, I think she actually needs some time to heal and get herself together. She don't even know who she is as a person, less more to be a mother. And that's very scary because you have damaged people running around out here having children and not responsible enough or mature enough mentally to be able to handle the task at hand of being a parent, baby. It's not for everybody. And being a parent is definitely not for the weak. And this is why more people should use protection, baby. Instead of contacting a child, you can definitely contact the disease. And that will be a check that the doctor can't cash, the bank can't cash, and your ass can't get out of, baby. So when they bringing these children into the world and don't want them, sometimes I wish it could have went the other way. So it could have been a lesson put into play, because some things that you get, you cannot get rid of. And your kids should be one of them. But if it's not going to be one of them, then maybe the good Lord should have put something on your ass that you couldn't get rid of. And more than a rash, period, point blank. Now, I'm going to continue to follow this story, right? I'm going to put clips in this video as I always do. But I had to come and give my opinion on this one, because as a mother that has struggled, I've been homeless with my children, okay, to say the least. And I would never want them to be in a bad situation, baby. But the growth and the outcome and the reward that comes with them being able to see what you work for is what you will get. So when you put hard work in, you will get the greatness out of it. You don't just sit and take what the world throws your way. You don't, baby. You be the person that makes the change. If you don't like it, you change it. Now, this is not a way that you change it. Now, it is actually a situation that turns out amazing if those kids are now within safe haven. And that's on period. Anyway, this has been your girl, Tay with the T. Make sure you hit that like button, share. And if you are not a subscriber, please become a subscriber, friend. You are definitely in La 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 Tay's world. Hey, hey. You understand? And your girl is out. La 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 lattes were a.